Thomas Glocer is here on set, former CEO of Thomson Reuters, as you probably know, current lead independent director at both Merck and Morgan Stanley. Tom, it's great to have you back.
Great to be here.
I'm curious how much policy you see coming into view, especially in health, given all the commentary around RFK Jr. in the last couple of weeks.
Good question. So first, I should just say the obvious. I don't represent Merck or the views of any other public company on which I serve on the board. Healthcare is interesting because we haven't seen much movement in healthcare stocks compared to, say, the banks over the last week. And I think that's because the regulatory outlook is far more hazy. Number one, you have the Kennedy issue, but I think that's more of a wild card. I think the bigger issue is that Trump has sort of flip-flopped on policy all over the map. Early on in his first term, he talked a lot about the unfairness to European pricing, reference pricing. Later, he seemed to pull back. Now there's a lot of focus on the PBMs, which in general would be good for pharma and take a bit of the pressure off of the innovation economy.
Can you talk about how discussions are going regarding M&A? And I guess even, taking corporate to 15. B of A over the weekend argued that's probably worth 4 points to S&P EPS.
There's, pharma has a regular habit of internal development and external. And I think the healthiest companies don't believe every great compound is invented inside. That's certainly the case at Merck these days. I think there's no question that the antitrust environment will help that, right? I can tell you that sitting in boardrooms over the last 3-4 years, folks have hesitated. The attitude's been the FTC will challenge you. You have to be prepared for a 2-year fight. Don't expect early termination.
What about trade? Aren't pharmaceutical supply chains very global?
They are. There's already been a pretty serious focus on essentially securing the supply chain from China. So active pharmaceutical ingredients, so-called API, comes from China and other places. We've done a lot of work at Merck on that. The focus now is really on the base chemicals, so not just the API, but where do you source the chemicals that go into the API? And these days, I think across the industry, that's still largely a Chinese story.
In the first Trump administration, certainly towards the end, we sort of saw that social schism in the country widen. And a lot of employees at companies seem to be pushing their CEOs to take positions on all sorts of issues, Tom, which were far outside what you typically would see. Are we going to go back to that, or is that kind of period over?
I think CEOs have had it for that, right? University of Chicago managed to get through the great university crisis by essentially saying, hey, look, our values. This is what we stand for. We are not going to be pulled by every whim to make a comment of this is an outrage, that's an outrage. And I think what you'll see in CEOs is a similar movement. Speak about issues that are really relevant to your employees, your community, your industry. But there's always an employee, a supplier, a customer who wants to pull you to make a statement that in the end is more political than it is economic.
Yeah. Finally, obviously, you and I knew each other for years when you were running Thomson Reuters. The news business, it's changing dramatically, and not for the better necessarily for the larger organizations and the like. What is your sense there in terms of what that's looking like now and will look like over the next 4 years?
Well, first I have to say, Steve Hasker, who runs TR these days, is doing a fantastic job. The company's a lot different than it was in my period, but a lot of the businesses we bought have been successfully sold off, adding to the success. To me, the saddest thing about the news business is the local news. Who's going to stand up and report about the local elections, et cetera. On a national basis, I think we have the champions that we've had for the last 5-6 years. I don't see a major threat. The biggest threat, I think, would be self-censorship, a la Washington Post editorial over the last week. But as long as people stay true to their editorial roots, I think we'll be okay.